Three, two, one. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Surviving with Spinja. This is my very first episode with a guest. I'm still kind of finding my way around things. I'm just playing with format. My whole intention, though, with the interviews that I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be bringing a lot of podcasters that I listen to and respect, and they're sharing a lot about what's going on in the world, and some of the nefarious things, and like we touch on um, angels and aliens, and like the occult and things like that, and bringing so much wonderful information, but and it's great, we're finding out things, and sometimes it can be a little scary and it's just disempowering. And so I'm here to help us remember our power and be a question to now what. My intention is to help us, just kind of reframe things, take our power back. A lot of us are just waking up and figuring things out and seeing reality for what it is, and it can be a very confusing time. um I'm still learning stuff myself. And so my first guest is Karen Holton. I and she's from the Quantum Guides show, and then she also has another show called Angels and Aliens. And I stumbled across her podcast last August. It was all part of my own quest, and the information that she shared really resonated with me. And what's even cooler is that she does not live too far from us. And so um, we're starting to build connections here in Alberta, and hopefully, um, like by doing this show, we'll find more people that we can connect with and start building our community. So, with all of that said, thank you, Karen, for being here, and please introduce yourself and tell us about you. Thank you.
Thank you, Spinja. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I'm honored. It's been a pleasure to get to know you and Dawn, and of course have you participate in my weekly workshops. I really appreciate that. And as for me, I'm just kind of a kooky old lady. I started having serious paranormal experiences after I stepped out of religion. And I stepped out of religion in the mid 1990s. And no disrespect for those of you who benefit from your religion, but for me, it was not doing it for me. It was holding me back. And I went through some life challenges. I had an incredible experience where I was met with angels and given a gift to help me in my life course. Later on from that, I experienced some ongoing extraterrestrial contact, which was very positive. And from there, I received a download, and I received it all in like one instant, but it took me like 2 years to organize the material because I wasn't given word for word what to say or what to put down. I was given like abstract concepts and ideas and knowings and things that I needed to downstep and convert it into everyday normal English that anyone from any educational background, religious belief, cultural background, that anyone would be able to understand and assimilate. And that was the original program. I went on to develop a website and then a YouTube channel, and everything has just basically grown from there. I think we'll talk a little bit about the program. I call it the Quantum Health Transformation Program. It's arranged into 9 steps, which actually works out to about 12 lessons. And it's my chance to a couple of things. For one thing is I was inspired to provide this information for everybody at no cost. I didn't, my guides basically directed me that there should be no barriers. I mean, basically, you do need a basic understanding of English, but beyond that, there should be no barriers to receiving this information. But more than that, I also applied the information in my own life. I was a very depressed, anxious woman with a lot of health issues. My weight was 320 pounds most of my adult life. I had all kinds of issues and problems. And through working through and developing the course and applying the course, I lost a terrific amount of weight. I completely revamped my life, restored my health. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I don't have depression or anxiety anymore. And so I know that the program works. I'm not just channeling, I've actually applied it. Later in 2017, I moved to Alberta from the west coast of Canada to Alberta, and just completely moved everything here, started fresh. And then I revamped the program to the 2.0 series, and I've just finished updating it again to the 3.0 series. And it's really beneficial, not just for everyone, but also for people who are teachers and healers and that want to pass on their own programs to people to help perhaps fill in some of the gaps and to help support them in the work they're doing. Because ultimately, we're all healers, whether we're healing ourselves, our families, our intergenerational dysfunction, our communities, the planet, we're all healers. So the program is definitely applicable to everybody. Anyway, and then along the way, I met Don Rogers. He actually sent me a message and thanked me for my work, and we ended up communicating, and through him I met Spinja, and it's just all taken off from there. So thank you so much for having me on your show. Oh, I just want to mention to people that I have YouTube. I'm available on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, Odyssey, at Karen Holton TV. And my website for those on audio is www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com. I'm an alternative holistic wellness coach, as well as I have my own shows. So I'm also a podcast host. Thank you.
And I will absolutely make sure that all of your information is found in the video description, and then I will also be sharing your information on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm still trying to balance everything and try to find the time to do that amongst my job, but it will be coming. And so you brought up the quantum health transformation program version 3.0, which if the viewers don't know, my family is taking part in it. We are doing the workshop part with Karen every Sunday, and it's been amazing. It started out with just Dawn and I, and then we brought our 16-year-old son Ray into it because I thought it was so important. And now the steps that we're in right now, like I have, like myself, I have been trying to make these changes. Like I think it really started in 2011 for me when I went to college and took the fiber arts program, and a lot of my instructors were talking about a more natural way, and they were touching on the toxicity, like laundry detergent. Like that was one of the things that scared the stink out of me was my one instructor was talking about fabric softener sheets and how it coats the clothes and makes it more flammable. Well, at the time, I was a single mom with a 3-year-old at home, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's just like that was changed right away. And that was just the beginning of wanting to swap things out. And I knew that there was something wrong. And as I started diving a little bit more, I was finding little bits and pieces. And so fast forward to about a month or, like when we started doing this program, um, it has filled in the gaps like so far that I hadn't been able to find the answers for. And so for somebody who's already been on this journey, this is one of the reasons, like why I wanted to have you on here. So especially like somebody at the very beginning of their journey and they're just like standing in the middle and it's like, now what? Like, where do I start? In my opinion, this is the perfect jumping off point. And you have kept it like you just present the information in a non-biased way. It's just, here's the information, that's it. There's no opinions, you're not trying to sway us in any direction. It's just beautiful how you present the information, and I am so grateful to be a part of this. And I have friends who are just rubbing their eyes, and I'm just waiting. I'm gonna complete the program, and then I'm gonna be like, hey ladies, check this out. I've done this. This is what it's done for me. Here you go.
Fabulous. Yeah, ultimately, it turned out that the program is exactly what I needed back when I was waking up. And so, I mean, I was given the basic information, what I needed to communicate to humanity, but also I had free rein on how I wanted to arrange it and present it. So I wrapped it up in, it includes all the basically a very simplified version of all the sacred teachings throughout history, but in a very simple, non-magical, non-mystical, ordinary format that's hopefully easy to understand. I also included everything I've learned about toxification and how to detoxify and why we want to detoxify, so that we can be more comfortable in our own skin, enjoy life more, but also what it opens us up to more paranormal experiences, which I believe are part of our birthright. And so can I just briefly run through what the 9 steps include, Spinja?
Please do, Karen. Yes, absolutely.
So you start with step 9 and you work your way down towards step 1. So you actually start with an orientation that gives you an overview of all the steps. And then you do step 9. And what step 9 does is it opens your mind. The first 3 steps open your mind so that you can understand what the nature of our reality is. And so the first step, which is step 9, you learn about quantum physics and you get a glimpse into how dimensions are formed and how reality is formed. But more than that, I give you a very useful tool where you can learn how to seek out and deal with your shadow. Because a lot of people, we're discouraged from examining our shadow side, but we all have one, and we keep it suppressed and hidden, and then it causes us problems in our life. So this gives you a tool on how to discover your own shadow and then how to integrate it with your light body. So we all want to be good and walk in the light all the time, but the reality of it is we have flaws, we have problems, we have negative impulses. We need to learn how to combine them so that we can become more whole people and have more personal power. And then step 8 is about how to self-soothe, how to take good care of the mind and the body so that no matter what we're going through, we can seek out ways to feel better and to be calmer and to take good care of ourselves and recognize that we have value. And step 7 is about integrating our male and female energies. The left side of our body is our female energy, is governed by female energy, and the right side is governed by our male energy. We all have both energies, and how we can learn to get in touch with those energies and work on developing the side that we're weaker on so that we can be fully human, take good care of ourselves, and learn more. And also I give a bit of an introduction into the whole concept of gender and the difference between sex and gender and how to step out of gender stereotypes, but in no way do I get into gender politics. That's beyond the scope. It's just giving you the biological and psychological facts. Then we move into, and so that's the first 3 lessons that help you to open your mind so that you become aware of who you really are and your place in the world. Then the middle 3 steps, steps 6, 5, and 4, are detoxification. So as Spinja was saying, we've just finished step 6, which is broken down into 3 parts. External detoxification, where we look at what products we're using for personal care, for cleaning, things like that, how they may have a bad effect on our health and our minds and our thinking. They might be holding us back, and alternative ways or products that we can use that are actually a lot cheaper and a lot healthier for us and the planet. Part 2 is internal detoxification, where we learn about food-like substances that most of us are consuming that we don't realize what it's doing to us and how that's holding us back. And part 3 is emotional detoxification, understanding how emotions work, how they give us our feelings, how they affect our thoughts, how they affect our intuition and our ways of knowing, and how to make best use of all of our emotions. Then step 5 that we're going to do tomorrow is about food, using food as medicine, and how food is another source of universal love energy. A lot of people don't realize there's a spiritual aspect to food. And there's no one way of eating that fits everybody. So whether you're carnivore, keto, vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, there's a way of eating that makes sense to all of us. And we need to gravitate towards that, which makes us feel good. It gives us the energy that we need. And then step 4 is how to detoxify from the construct. So it affects, the construct has programmed our minds. So it's ways to recognize ways that we've been programmed. And once we see it, we can't unsee it. Then we're free to step out of the construct and develop our own personal truth. That one's really going to be fun. Step 3 is all about manifesting, how to get more of what you want in your life. Step 2 is all about creating a framework so you can have a rich spiritual life that may or may not have anything to do with religion. Because we're not on our own, we may as well take advantage of these other forces that are here to assist us. And then step 1 is all about exercises to develop our virtues and become more productive and more loving human beings that can coexist peacefully on this planet. So the last 3 lessons are all about spiritual elevation. So really you need to do step 9, 8, and 7 first, so you can open your mind and see the possibilities. Step 6, 5, and 4, detoxify, so that we have a mind and a body and a soul that can work together. And then the last 3 steps, which really help us project us into the wild and the weird and the wonderful that is our birthright. And so that's the basic overview of the program.
Thank you so much for that. And every time you mention about the Nubby Ball tool, that was so I'd actually started listening to version 2 before we connected. And so when I listen to the part about the Nubby Ball, I was so excited that I didn't even have the words because it helped me put things into words. Like some of I'm healing from a lifetime of narcissistic abuse. There's been a lot of mental and emotional, and I know a lot of us are healing from that. And for me, one of the things I've had a really hard time with is putting my feelings into words. Like trying to, I've had a hard time expressing myself and not knowing how to not react, to find the words. And so that's one of the things that the Nubby Ball has helped me with, is that like it helps me take a step back and just like analyze the situation, and then I can find the words to express myself. And it's helped Dawn as well. And I have to say, like, so far, like at this point too, it's been great going through as a family, because it's also opened up the conversation with Ray,
Mhm.
because he's 16 years old, and most 16-year-olds figure that like your parents are just busting your butt, and they get some sort of enjoyment out of telling you what to do and blah blah blah. And we all know that that's not true, but we were teenagers once too. And so like I've been trying to tell him these things, like, no, this is not about busting your butt. I was so controlled my whole life. I have zero desire to control my child. I don't want to control him. I want to guide him. And
Mhm.
that's where this program has come in, because I think it's also showing him, no, no, we're not controlling you. We're guiding you. And if you don't believe us, Karen's going to tell you the same thing, bud. So I really encourage, like, if you have some teenagers too, um if they're rubbing their eyes and if they're interested, it is worth sitting down with them, like, as a family. And this will help you. Like, I know it's, for me, it's helping me become a better parent too, because I don't know it all, and I'm learning as I go. And I see a lot of things, and no disrespect to my parents, they did the best that they could with what they had. But I think, like, parents now, like, we have enough information. We know now that, yes, there are changes that we need to make. There is healing that we need to do. It starts with us. But at the same time, I'm also bringing Ray along with me. And, like, Bud, I don't know. There's a lot of things, like, he's at the same place I am, because he's learning the same things I am. And that's where the program is coming in, and it opens up the conversation. And I'm very, very thankful. And on another note, he's appreciating Mom's cooking a lot more, because that's one of the first changes that I made. And I will say, um it can be scary and overwhelming when the reality sets in. It's like, where do I start? And I encourage everybody, and I just as a reminder, one tiny step, that's one tiny change. I started, one of the things I did was I made his breakfast every morning. He I took the cereal out, like, that was so full of sugar and chemicals and, like, artificial color and all that, just absolutely horrible. And I swapped it out with hash browns and bacon. And again, there's probably healthier alternatives, but it was better than the sugar. So
Mhm.
even that, tiny steps. And the tiny steps, I've found, you make one tiny step, and then time goes on, and it's like, okay, well, maybe I can shift that a little bit more and shift that a little bit more, but you have to start somewhere.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, back when I was trying to initially put all of this together, I was living in poverty and I couldn't afford good food. And I knew I needed to eat good food. I knew that was going to be fundamental to rebuilding my life and my health. And I didn't know what to do. And so, believe it or not, I ended up I was living on the west coast of BC at the time, and they were all big on recycling, and they had recycling centers at all the different big shopping malls. And they were basically big dumpsters, one for cardboard, one for glass, one for plastics, things like that. And people would come and do their recycling. And I was actually going down there every day and started cleaning the recycle site. And then people would ask me, do you want my wine bottles? Do you want my beer cans? And I say, sure. And the manager of the mall where I was doing this, he told me I wasn't allowed to take anything out of the dumpsters. So even though There was all kinds of returnables that I could have accessed. I didn't. I did what I was told, and I kept cleaning up the place, and he realized that I was actually doing a service, so he allowed me to continue doing that. And it didn't take long before people started, recognizing me and saying hi and bringing me their beer cans and stuff. And then I would take all those recyclables to the recycle center and turn them into money. Not much, because in BC you don't get much. Like, you get 5 cents for a wine bottle, and wine bottles are really heavy. They're glass. It's a lot of work. And it takes
Yes.
a lot of bottles to make $5 even, but I did it every day. It also got me outside and got me a chance to sit and think about things. It also gave me an opportunity to watch people. And I sad to say, the minority of people were kind. The majority were just kind of treated me like I wasn't there. And then there was also as many kind people as there was mean people who saw me as being less than. And it was really interesting to see how people perceived me. I learned a lot about people and confidence and stuff then. And a lot of people
Yes.
think that poor people are they're that way because of their own will, that they're lazy, or poor people are drug addicts, or poor people have caused their own problems. And then that makes the people who have feel a little bit more superior, but it also absolves them from helping out the less fortunates. But what's true in more cases is people who are underemployed generally have disability issues. They generally have
Yes.
terrible, terrible health issues that most people can't even imagine. And some of
Yes.
those health issues come from the fact that they're poor and they're eating at the food bank, which is giving them macaroni and canned soup and just crap. They never get a chance to heal and to improve. And
Yes.
yes, some are drug addicts, but if you knew their life story, you'd be shocked that they're still around. So, there is a bit of a shortage on empathy. But my point was, I
Yes.
had to struggle, really struggle, just to be able to go and buy fruits and vegetables. And then as soon as I could, I switched to organic. And I'm not kidding. Like, this is quite a few years ago now. This is back in like 2013. It was $5 for a red pepper. Like,
Yeah.
terribly expensive, right? But anyway, I persisted and persisted, and as I persisted, I got better and better and better, and I was able to then do other things. But I'm not trying to make people feel sorry for me. Thank goodness, and I'm very blessed now that I can basically buy what I want and need in the way of food without having to worry much about it. But it wasn't always like this. And I guess the reason I'm bringing it up is because truly we do need to struggle for what we want and what we know is important. Nothing comes easy. People are not born with some secret ability to just have everything they need. Now, manifesting is a wonderful tool, but that takes time to learn and to acquire those skills. But also, we have to believe in ourselves. And when we come
Yes.
from the down and under, it's hard to believe in yourself, to pull yourself up. But with struggle comes great reward, terrific amount of satisfaction from achieving goals. We get confidence from setting small, doable goals. And each time we reach one, we celebrate, we feel great. There's so much we can do for ourselves, but the struggle is real. And I guess point I'm trying to make is twofold. One is have compassion for those who do not have, because we don't understand what they're going through. We can't even imagine what they've been through. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to be a lazy bum and lie around and do nothing. Contrary to the rumors, that I never met anyone who ever had that attitude. And the other thing is the struggle. Like, for instance, we've discussed before, not everybody can just go out and do this program automatically. It takes time to be able to afford better quality products, better quality food. It's expensive, but we do what we can. And so we start with baby steps and we do a little at a time, and we achieve our goals and we try a little bit more. And that's really how we do it. And sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 back, 2 steps forward,
Yes.
1 back. So failure is part of our success. So I want to just encourage people that way.
That's I'm really glad that you brought that up. Like that's how I've been handling things. Like with like when you mentioned about the failure, I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it like it's a lesson. Like, what can I learn here? There's like I've made mistakes or poor decisions, or like been pressured, like decisions under, like wrong decision under pressure, and whatever. And like I got to the point where it was just happening all the time, and I had to make a choice. Do I feel bad and wallow in the self-pity and beat myself up, or do I take a step back and what can I learn from this? What can I take away from this?
Mm-hmm.
And even that can be challenging, but that was one of the baby steps for me. Like, really, all of it is about baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you mentioned, like about like it can feel discouraging, knowing, like, when you do learn, it's like, okay, like, that organic is the best, but you can't afford it. That's where, like, I keep saying, use what you have, do what you can. Like, it all makes a difference, even if you make baby steps. um like, even growing a tomato plant. Like, a lot of people, um like, there's a lot of people living in cities, and like, they don't have the backyard, or they don't have a lot of space, or whatever. If you grew like one tomato plant on your patio, strawberries are also great for containers as well. Or even if you had a window, and an herb garden, these little things add
Mm-hmm.
up. Because I find with myself, like, when I make one small change, then I see something else that I get, like, another small change that I can make. And then before you know it, you take a look back and it's like, oh wow, like, you've made these changes that end up being bigger, and you incorporate it into your lifestyle. Like, even
Yeah.
just like, as an example, like, I like baking, and making my own food. And yes, initially, to acquire the baking supplies, like, if you were to go out and get everything all in one shot, yeah, that's expensive. But if you, like, each grocery trip, okay, so you've got your milk, and then you've got your butter, and you've got your eggs. So this time you buy some flour, and the next time you buy some cocoa, or whatever it is that you want to make, like, just one step at a time. And eventually you're going to find your cupboard full of ingredients. And and on a side note, like, if things did go dark and things did get ugly, oh, you're prepared.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I want to mention is, even if you're not eating any organic at all, if you're just eating regular groceries, if you're making it for yourself at home, you're doing 1,000% better than if you're going to McDonald's or any of the fast food places. The fast food places are absolutely deleterious to your health. There's no doubt about it. They use the toxic ingredients. They're not regulated. And the money that you're
Mhm.
spending there is making very, very rich people even wealthier, while they're laughing at our poor health. Not to mention, the same companies ultimately own the fast food franchises, who also own the pharmaceutical industry that's profiting off of your sickness and your lack of health when you go to the doctor. So stop supporting the evil empire and start cooking at home. Just start with a very basic cookbook. You can get a children's cookbook if you want to, if you really don't know how to cook. You can watch Spinja's videos if you want to learn how to do basic cooking and baking at home. Start making for yourself. Make the time. You might go, oh, I'm tired when I come home from work. Well, you're tired, perhaps, because you're not getting the fuel your body needs. But you
You're
need to put in that initial effort, that initial struggle that we talked about in order to start cooking. And you can make some really simple meals and you will save yourself money in the long run, although it may not look like it because fast food is pretty cheap, but actually it is getting more expensive now.
Not now. Not
But
now. No, no.
it is getting more
It,
expensive, isn't it?
oh, it's crazy. Like full confession. Now it's been a bit, but the last time we the three of us went to a fast food chain, it was $45.
Yeah,
And
$45
and
will buy you a lot. Your all your basic pantry items. It will buy you enough, amazing amount of food. So, and you don't have to cook everything, but and we'll get into that in tomorrow's workshop. So I hope you'll all come and join us for that. But yeah, your health will be so much better if you make it yourself because you're going to be bypassing so many toxic preservatives, rancid seed oils, all kinds of stuff that's just really making you sick and depressed. And then you get more energy, and then you actually get a kick out of making your own food, and you take pride in what you do and you feel better. Wouldn't you agree, Spinja?
absolutely. And the other piece to it, I'm going to own that, some of my recipes aren't the most healthy. Like I do have, like I did a video with chocolate cake. I will say though that when I make that chocolate cake, it takes effort. Not a whole lot of effort because I have everything right there, but it makes you think. You are more mindful. And so I know for me, I'm not going to go and demolish something that like that I had to put the time and the effort and the love into. Whereas, like if there was a package of cookies that was sitting there that I bought from the store, it would be a lot more tempting to just dive right in, right? Whereas you make it yourself, you're a little bit more mindful about the consumption. And like the other thing that I'm going to be doing is like I'm going to be like the recipes that I'm going to be doing I'm going to be starting to swap out ingredients. I've already started. So now instead of using seed oils, I'm using butter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another small change that we've done. We save our bacon grease. And
Mm-hmm.
so Dawn does a lot of cooking in the bacon grease, and honestly, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it tastes so much better. But again, the difference between a store-bought chocolate cake and one you make yourself. Number one, you're getting real ingredients when you're making it yourself. So you've already taken a step towards health. You are bypassing the chemical preservatives that keep that cake sitting on the shelf for 2 weeks before it's bought. Those are not in your homemade cake. So there's another step closer. You're also making it with love because you care about yourself. So there's another step towards health. And that's how we do it. Absolutely. Step by step, we get there. And it doesn't take long. And then you look back and you go, whoa, I've made progress. And you feel so proud.
Yes, yes. So another one of the things I'd like to bring up, I would love for you to talk about your Orgone generators.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
you,
Yes, I forgot to
yeah,
mention them in the beginning. Okay, so yes, thank you for wearing that. I sent that to Spinja. It's clear quartz with an angel on the front. So how I'm able to cover my expenses, because I'm not a rich woman, is by selling Orgone generators from my website. And how I found out about Orgone generators is I was working on a computer trying to basically put all this program and all this good stuff together. And I found that I got really tired after being on the computer for about 20 minutes. I couldn't figure out why it would drain my energy. And then I did some research and found out that I'm sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. So whether we're aware of them or not aware of them, they do have a bit of an effect on our health. Our bodies are not used to them. for thousands and thousands of years, we never had electromagnetic frequencies. Well, we had a few coming from the earth and a few coming from outer space, but nothing like today where everyone has, you know, a cell phone and we have screen time and we have everything is electrical that in our house, from our vacuum cleaner to your microwave or whatever, right? And so so my guides, I know this is going to sound weird, but my guides suggested I do some research into orgonite, and I'd never even heard about it. And I did. And so I learned that Wilhelm Reich, who was, he was around the time of Freud and also Einstein. And he was another great mind. You hear of Tesla a lot, but you don't always hear of Wilhelm Reich. And he invented the whole concept for orgone generators. And of course, the FDA in the States burned all his books and put him in jail. And then we believe he was assassinated. He died in prison. So none of his information got out. So you fast forward to about the 1970s and 80s. And at that point, organic resins were created, invented, and created. So we were able to make orgone generators that work the way Wilhelm Reich had described them and invented them, but we were able to now make them compact. So I'll just give you an example of one I have here. So this one here is, you'll see that there are layers of crystals. So this one has layers of jasper and aventurine and turquoise, lapis lazuli, amethyst. Oh, I missed one. The green one I think is green aventurine. I'm not sure, might be jade. And then it has a crystal in the top, but the crystal actually runs the full length of the pyramid. So what happened was we realized that the pyramid shape itself absorbs energy through the bottom and changes it and concentrates it and sends it out the top. Oops, sorry, I'm not really showing up there. So what we learned is that crystals, when they're under pressure, they become piezoelectric. You can learn a lot more from it from my website, or you could just do some research on piezoelectric crystals. So the crystals are inside a matrix of this organic resin. And when the resin cures or dries, it shrinks and it puts permanent pressure on the crystals. There's also metals in here and a copper wire wrapped around the central clear quartz crystal. And so what happens is the negative energy is absorbed into the orgone generator, and then it's retuned to the frequencies of the crystals. So this one here has crystals that support all of the chakras. So it's now emitting the frequency. Each crystal has its own frequency, and it's emitting all the frequencies of the crystals. It's being concentrated in the pyramid shape, and it's shooting out the top. And the clear quartz crystal is the most powerful and healing crystal of all the crystals. And it just purifies, absolutely purifies all the ambient energy. So it doesn't block electromagnetic frequencies, it absorbs them and converts them into healing energies. So when I discovered this, I had a friend, it started out with my brother making them, and then I had a friend make them for me. I designed them and my friend makes them for me. And I started to sell them on my website. And then the money that I make from selling my orgone generators pays for my Zoom and pays for my website and pays for all the myriad of expenses, software, all kinds of things that I need to pay for in order to get my message and my teachings out. Here's another one. This one here is peridot. So it's green and it's got the seed of life on it, or double Merkaba on it, because symbols also affect the energy. And they also, orgone generators also pull energy from subatomic space, or what we call 0 point or Planck level, and that produces the orgone, and the orgone is then shaped by the crystals. And so that's added to the frequency. This one also has copper, and it has a beautiful, oops, I don't think there, I think you can see clear, clear. They don't all have the clear quartz points. Some of them are just full of different kinds of crystals. There's all kinds available. I'll just show you one more. This one here is actually tinted clear quartz crystals, and it's got a different kind of flower of life on the front. And it's very beautiful. And so, you know, depending on what colors that resonate with you, depending on, you know, which ones you might want. So I also create butterflies, angel shapes, and in different crystal combinations for different purposes, and also pendants. And then I also create discs that you can actually take in the tub with you to help restructure the water. So you run a salty bath. Basically, you run a nice hot bath, not too hot. You don't want to burn yourself, but pretty hot bath, so that you have to get in kind of slowly as if you're at, you know, the spa. And you add Epsom salts and sea salt and baking soda, and that detoxifies the body, but it also creates an environment where you're electrically supercharged. And the bathtub is connected to the plumbing, which is connected to the earth. So when you get into a salty bath, you're automatically grounded to the planet, which is super good for you. And so anyway, it's just a lovely environment. So I have discs, because you don't want to take anything like this in the bath because it's got sharp, pointy edges, but also they could chip and break. They're not indestructible. They're pretty strong, but they're not indestructible. So the discs are just smooth. I also have, oops, I've got one here. Oops, I'm losing my sticky notes. This one here is just a really nice disc. So I have also a collection of, I call them palm and body massage, palm and body organites. And they're nice and smooth, so you can sleep with them, so they don't hurt if you roll over on them. They're very comfortable. You can also massage the body with them. They're just beautiful. This one here is hematite, and hematite wicks away pain and is very healing to the body. I have them also in rose quartz, aquamarine, amethyst, and citrine. And so you can read about them on my website, how Orgone Generators work. I've also got a playlist on YouTube. And under my free resources tab on my website, I also have all kinds of links to different videos on the different aspects of Orgone Generators and how they work. And then any people say, well, how do I know which one I will need? Well, you will be intuitively drawn to the ones that you need. That's how you'll know. And then you can read up, you know, when you click on the different products in my shop, you can click on them and read about, you know, specifically what they're designed to help out with. So a lot of people have had amazing results from using them, and I love them. But right now, my friend who was making them is not making them anymore, so they're all in limited supply. So some I have, you know, 3 of, some I have 10 of, and not sure where I'm going to go from here. But yeah, I hope people check them out. Thank you for mentioning that, Spinja.
No, absolutely. And they are helping us. Like we have them all over the house. I have a couple with me at work as well, because you know, that definitely need help balancing the energy out in the 3D there. But I wanted to share a story about my dog. I have a husky. We have 2 huskies, the Gunner and Buck Rogers. Gunner is the older husky. He is a rescue from the Humane Society, so we don't know a whole lot about his history. So I don't know anything about his genetics or anything, but we do know, like he has been experiencing some pain. He's been on the crusty side, you know, not loving the puppy so much. But since I put the Orgone generator on his collar, there is a difference in his energy level. Like he just seems to be a little bit more enthusiastic about life. He's he just he's more bouncy. Like he's still his old grumbly self. I don't think that's ever going to change, but he seems looser and um more more comfortable. And even before I put it on his collar, he would gravitate to areas in the house where we had one. Like there was we put the wand in the living room, and he would always sleep beside it. And then there was um one that we put at the end of our bed, be like close to the TV that we have in our bedroom. And he was everywhere. And I think I just wanted to share that. Like it's, like it makes a difference with pets too.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, that's why
and yeah,
I have pet orgone generators in two sizes, small ones and medium ones, so that people can attach them to their pet's collar, put them in their bed. Um, and amethyst, they've got amethyst in them, which is the perfect semi-precious stone for cats and dogs to calm them down. Some people buy them because their dogs are really hyper and it helps them to calm down. And people are always surprised. They always let me know, wow, I didn't expect it to work that good, but it does. So yeah, we don't want to forget about our pets. Our pets also need good food and good environment, and orgone generators are good for them too. Yep.
exactly. Well, is there anything else that you feel the world needs to know? We've covered a lot, and I'm very
Yeah.
grateful. But is there like to share?
Well, yeah, I just want to mention one other thing. So the Quantum Health Transformation Program is absolutely free. Each step or part of step has at least two videos, the video tutorial and also the workshop featuring my friend here, Spinja, and Don Rogers and Ray. And we're about halfway through. We've got 6 more videos to make over the next 6 weeks, and then we're done. But the video tutorials are already up. Now, if you want your own PDF copy of the program, it comes with all the links embedded. I am charging $3.99 Canadian, which is like about $2.60 American. It's not much, but it's a small donation that helps me to cover my expenses. But the basic program is complete and online. It's in video format, but it's also done in slideshow presentation so if you don't hear, you can read it. And if you can see, but you can't hear, well, let me see, am I getting that backwards? If you're deaf, you can always read it. And if you're blind, you can hear it. So it's really good for everybody. And the other thing too is there's a wealth of information on the Quantum Guide Show. I interview amazing people every week. So many aspects of reality that seldom gets discussed in polite conversation. And also I have so under my shop, I have my Orgone Generators PDFs, and I also have some services. So if you're somebody who's having supernatural or paranormal experiences and you're not quite sure how to take it or what to do with it, I'm available for coaching. I'm also available to coach for spiritual emergencies, which is people who maybe they've been nestled in their little corner of reality throughout their life, and then they wake up and realize, oh my gosh, nothing is the way I thought it was, and I need some support. I'm available. I support people with alternative realities and lifestyles. And of course, if you need help with any aspect of the Quantum Health Transformation Program and you need some one-on-one coaching, I'm also available for that. So that's about it. Um, and just I wish all the viewers much love and success. And I think the core thing I want to say is believe in yourself. You have the ability to succeed in anything that you want. You have that ability. And sometimes we just need a little hand up, but we can do it. And I'm really proud of everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Karen. Again, it was such an honor to have you on my very first show. If you want, I'd appreciate it again. Share where everybody can find you.
Oh, okay. You can find me on YouTube, Telegram, Odyssey, Rumble. Rumble's a little slow at uploading my videos, backing them up from YouTube. I'm not very familiar with Rumble. I have to learn a little bit about Rumble yet. But basically, and I'm on X, and I'm always at Karen Holton TV. So I kept it consistent. But if you want to listen to me on audio podcasts, you would do a search for the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton. And then you'll find me on all the audio podcasts, so you can listen when you're busy doing other things. And of course, there's my website, www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. And that's KarenHolton healthcoach.com. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. It really means a lot to me. I'm just at the beginning of everything, just finding format, but I just want to give a spot where people can share, and these people that I'm having on have impacted my life. So I just want to get real loud and bring them out to, because I know they will make a difference. And as for me, stay tuned. I'm still, like I said, I'm just playing with format. I think Mondays is when I'm going to have my the interviews with the guests. I've got the next three Mondays I think lined up. I've got Brian Sang, who's coming up with the Full Disclosure Now. He's doing the Full Disclosure Now conference. He's Solar Bee. I have Heidi Pop that's going to be coming up. She is going to be talking about unschooling, homeschooling, and like things with around children. And I also have Maya from SOS QHT. She's going to be talking about some of the things that they did, some of her services, and what she knows. And so I've got a lot of exciting things coming up in this department. And then I think I'm going to start Fiber Fridays. I put my very first spinning video out on Friday, and I've had a lot of positive feedback with that. One person was saying that they figured that it was a dying art, and like there's a little voice in my head that says not on my watch. So and like that's part of I want to share that, part of the do it yourself, but there's also, for me, there's also a spiritual part of things too, and it's actually been a coping mechanism for me. So I want to share as much as I possibly can. And then I'm going to bring more recipes. I'm being told that that's happening. You can find me on Instagram. I have now opened up Facebook. I took the leap of faith there. And here and YouTube, I'm going to be getting Rumble going. So yeah, things are happening. It's I still have, I'm still working like 8 to 12 hours a day, like my 5 hour or 5 day a week kind of thing. So I'm just trying to do what I can with what I have. I'm practicing what I'm preaching. And anyway, if you have any questions or ideas or whatever, reach out to me. I will. Sometimes it might take me a little bit to get back to you, but I absolutely will. If there's anything you want to know, I am here. Either if I don't know it, then I'm going to help find somebody that can help us get some answers, because really this comes down to I have questions too. So thank you, everybody. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to chatting again. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.